Thank you very much, Jack.
Woo!
Yeah, Jack.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for having me here today. I am a previously endorsed candidate from California Congress of Republicans when I ran for statewide office a few years ago, and so this is a bit of a homecoming to come to this organization, and I appreciate the opportunity to introduce myself. I am a conservative Republican. I stand for socially conservative principles. I am pro-life 100%. I am pro-parental rights. I am pro-common sense. I oppose excessive taxation, over-regulation, and government that is corrupt. And I've got experience fighting that in Los Angeles County. I'm running now for supervisor because I think the time has come for an independent watchdog to serve as a check and balance on a county board of supervisors run amok, totally undisciplined in financial matters across the board. I'll give you a few examples. Compensation is out of control in this county. There are dozens of government bureaucrats that make over $500,000 in compensation every year. Approximately 814 bureaucrats make more than $250,000 in Riverside County. The consequence of that, of course, is that we struggle in a bunch of other areas on the balance sheet of the county, like the unfunded pension obligations, which I have independently computed at $9 billion. Now, let me tell you what the county says. The county says that that unfunded obligation is $3 billion. That is not the truth.
That's right.
My background as a certified public accountant, as a government accounting expert, I spent the first part of my career auditing municipalities across Southern California, agencies of the federal government, like the United States Department of Energy, the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, where I obtained high security clearance, and even state agencies like the State Compensation Insurance Fund. I know government accounting better than the finance director in the county of Riverside. And so I'll tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, no bureaucrat is going to pass up a fast one on me.
Yeah,
I'm going to be paying attention very closely to every dollar and every cent that comes across my board, across my desk. Now, a little bit of background as well on the public sector side. I have served previously as a mayor and a city council member in deep blue Los Angeles County over the course of 10 years. In fact, the city where I served had absolutely no Republican representing constituents at any level of government. I was the only Republican official in a 7-city radius, and if you get rid of the rhinos, a 9-city radius. That's like no Republican between Temecula and Hemet. Think about that. I was it, for better or worse. I was the face of the Republican Party, and against that backdrop, I had significant legislative successes across the board, whether it was taking on the marijuana industry or fighting corrupt parcel taxes and other nefarious tax measures going after the wallet so gallingly. And perhaps most consequentially, I conducted my own forensic examination of the city's accounts when I first became mayor, and I exposed government corruption in that entire region to the point where the California State Controller, John Chung, a Democrat, actually thanked me for standing up against government corruption the way I did in Southeast Los Angeles County, and I'm very proud of that. I'll also share that I took on the corrupt public schools, and I wasn't even a school board member. I was a mayor with no authority over the government schools. But because we had a school that was so corrupt, where 75% of the children were failing to read or perform basic math at grade level, and those standards are already low to begin with, I knew that I had a moral obligation to stand up against the corrupt education establishment. And even though the political class told me to stay away from the schools, they said, "Jack, you're not a school board member. Hands off the schools." But I knew, ladies and gentlemen, that even though it was not within my formal jurisdiction, it was certainly within my moral obligation to get involved. And I'll tell you what I did as mayor. I held public hearings on the quality of education in my city council chamber as part of a formal proceeding replete with minutes and podium and speakers, and we indicted the local schools through a formal resolution as failure factories. And as soon as I did that, I was summoned by LAUSD, Los Angeles Unified School District, one of the most corrupt school districts in the United States. I was summoned to their headquarters in downtown LA. They brought me to the boardroom. We discussed my concerns, and within a few days of that, the principal of one of those troubled schools was removed. And within a few days of that, the entire administration at that school followed in short order, and I am very proud of that, ladies and gentlemen. I do want to bring that discipline that worked so well for me in Los Angeles County. I turned out at the end of my second term, and I kicked myself out, by the way, because I wrote the ordinance on term limits. And so I knew that I wanted to move on to greener pastures. I selected Temecula Valley. I have a lot of roots in this region, and I had strong grassroots support when I ran for California Treasurer. And so I'm now based here, and I am running for supervisor because I want to bring the same discipline that worked so well for me in corrupt LA County to Riverside County. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Jack. And again, we have a few questions too that some of our members here would like answered. I don't want to take up too much time here, but I do want to mention that if your questions don't get answered tonight, we'll have a little bit of time afterwards. Hopefully you can hit them up afterwards. But one of the questions that came in that I like is, where did it go? Where did it go? Well, let me ask this one real quick. The District 3rd Supervisor has, for the last few elections, lived in southwest part of the county. Will you commit to projects that will help the San Jacinto Valley, such as Highway 79 realignment project?
Yes. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I was in Hemet this week. In fact, Ken Prado was at the school board meeting just a few days ago, and I came to speak at the Hemet School District to, number one, introduce myself, but also to listen to the education proceedings because I care deeply about education reform, not just in Temecula, where I live, where I purchased a home, but throughout the region, and dare I say, throughout the state of California. I happen to be a graduate of an underperforming public school in deep blue Los Angeles County, and I am a survivor of a decrepit public education system. So for me, I tell you, I take education reform very seriously. And so I have been speaking up and down the region in Hemet and in cities to the north of the district to expose government corruption afflicting the education system and to champion parental rights across the board. Yeah. So the answer is yes, I care about Hemet. With respect to transportation projects, I think the Highway 79 project is an important consideration. I agree with some of the recommendations that we should look into perhaps creating a county arterial so that we can expedite the project as quickly as we can. Although I do recognize that there are federal and state matching funds at play with this project, and we do not want to forego those extra funds. And so whatever we do, let's pay close attention to the economics of the project and the fastest way to realize it in the most economical approach. Thank you. City of Cudahy in southeast Los Angeles County. So that's about 10 miles from downtown Los Angeles, about 30,000 population. 98% Hispanic and 90% Democrat.
Wow. Low income.
30% below the poverty line. That's right. And against that backdrop, I really defended our values and had consistent support from the people, and I'm very proud of that.
But another question we had was, and I think it goes for everybody here, how do you plan on winning this election?
Sure. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I am going for the grassroots vote. I don't care about the establishment. I don't care about developer money. I don't care about special interests or even the labor unions. In fact, I have an op-ed coming into the press enterprise this week, look out for it, where I expose the financial mismanagement of the County Board of Supervisors. And I take them head on, using my skill set and my background as a CPA. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I am speaking the truth. I have prayed about this opportunity to run for office, and for me, I think about it providentially. You know, at the end of the day, I am serving my fellow man, and I am serving God in this endeavor. And so I am at peace with whatever comes out of this project. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to win because I have the confidence that I'm championing the rights and the values of this community. I have been doing it up and down the school districts, and to the best of my knowledge, I'm the only candidate that has been speaking consistently at school board meetings to fight that corrupt agenda that would sexualize our children and take away parental rights. It is an unconstitutional violation, and I think every public official, even if the jurisdictional scope doesn't apply to the position, should be speaking out in defense of our values.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jack, for coming here. We appreciate you stepping up and serving like you do. And we do wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you very
Thanks again.